Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the worst cases of food fraud in history. The wool is literally being pulled over our eyes. This is why we have got to take a more proactive approach in what we eat, in growing what we eat, controlling what we eat, right? Too many people have gotten lazy and they're just okay with what is told to them as food, right? They tell you it's food and you believe it. But I'm going to show you some of the worst cases of food fraud in history and how it does affect you. A lot of times people believe because they don't feel something right away or they can't see evidence of something right away, then they're okay. So anyway, let's get into this. Okay, it says the biggest cases of food fraud ever. It says the U.S. Food and Drug Administration defines food fraud as the act of defrauding buyers of food or ingredients for economic gain, also known by its more technical term of economically motivated adulteration. Food fraud is what happens when a person or persons along the farm-to-table pipeline engage in a wide variety of dubious practices meant to obfuscate, if not outright lie, to the buyer. The buyer being anything from the manufacturer, importer, retailer, government, to the individual consumer. According to the FDA website, food fraud has been found to negatively affect 1% of the global food market. That might not sound like much, but keep in mind that's still around $10 to 15 billion a year on average, going as high as 40 billion. Now, breaking away from the article for a moment, some reports have higher numbers than that. Okay? Higher numbers than that, much higher numbers. So, again, what's truly dangerous about food fraud, aside from its economic impact, is the threat to public health. Mislabeled packages, ingredients, substitutions, and counterfeiting quality products all carry massive risk to public health. We need food to survive, and we consume one kind of product or another at least several times a day. Food fraud disrupts the delicate process of grocery shopping, all for the sake of a few extra zeros in profit. Even today, food fraud continues to be a rampant problem for both the consumer's health and economic stability. Some of you may remember the peanut butter salmonella outbreak. Okay, it caused a deadly nationwide outbreak. Okay, look at this one: kangaroo and horse meat sold as beef. I feel like consumers have a right to know if they're eating kangaroo, horse, or beef. Okay, kangaroo meat, horse meat, or beef. They have a right to know. If you're telling me I'm buying beef, that's what I want it to be. So here's the one that I wanted to concentrate on right here. The honey smuggling ring. Considered at the time to be the largest instance of food fraud in the United States. In 2008, both the U.S. Department of Commerce and Department of Homeland Security began an investigation into the illegal importation of adulterated honey. Several members of the German-based ALW food group were charged with mislabeling and adulterating imported low-quality honey because the honey was harvested by machines rather than bees. It was left with a pungent smell, and the taste described as like sauerkraut, which they dulled with a liberal use of sugar and syrup. In 2013, more charges were brought by the U.S. Department of Justice against several defendants from Honey Holding Ltd. Honey Holding 1 Ltd. for illegally importing honey from China that was adulterated with antibiotics not meant to be used in honey. Okay, in both instances, both ALW Food Group and Honey Holding were able to avoid up to 80 and 180 million in anti-dumping duties, respectively. Anti-dumping duty is defined as a domestic tariff on foreign import commodities considered to be priced below fair market value. Basically, is meant to protect local markets from being undercut by foreign products being dumped on the domestic market. Okay? Another form of honey fraud, you all, is companies, even here in the U.S., what they're doing to honey is they are mixing massive amounts of high fructose corn syrup, in which that has said to be very, very harmful to your health. But they are mixing that with honey and passing it off as honey. Now, high fructose corn syrup is not good for your body. You can do your own research on it, but it's not good for you. And if someone is telling you that you're buying honey, but they have mixed honey with high fructose corn syrup, that is a major food fraud, one of the biggest in U.S. history. It is not fair, it is not right, and it is downright criminal. There was someone we were buying honey from who claims to have been, raising their own bees and making honey. I had noted that in consuming their honey, I was getting some major headaches. When I found out about this food fraud, I said, what are these people doing? Why am I getting headaches every time I consume their honey? And it made me wonder, are these people committing food fraud by adulterating their honey with high fructose corn syrup? You got to understand that high fructose corn syrup causes massive weight gain. It causes other sickness and health problems. Look at what it has done to lab rats. And so if they are adulterating honey with high fructose corn syrup and telling you that you have honey, then that is a criminal offense to me. I feel like for too long, these multinational corporations have gotten away with doing things that are detrimental to people's health. I don't feel like the hammer comes down hard enough. I feel like too many people are being bought off, too many people being paid off, and other people, such as the consumer, are paying with their health. Be careful out here, family. It's not just the honey, but so many other things have been adulterated. They talked about the plastic rice. We need to start doing more research on the things that we are eating. Some of this stuff they're calling organic or gluten-free or non-GMO. Even that stuff, you got to be very careful. There's some folk out here lying through their cotton-picking teeth, right? And so that means we've got to be very vigilant, more vigilant with how we eat. Okay? Being more concerned about it than not just brushing things off and trusting people because they label it and say that it's good for you. Just because some agency tell you something is good for you, does that mean we have to believe them? No, it does not. We have got to step up to the plate and start taking more control over what we eat by growing our own food, raising our own meat. It is what it is, family. Whether you will hear or forbear is up to you. So I'm done with this video. Chop it up in the comment section. As always, keep it tight and keep it right. But until next time, I'm out. We hope you liked today's topic. Please leave your comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share it like this video, and with that, we're out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.